Greetings everyone, my name is Mrs. Baker and I'm going to take you through in this video our class expectations and procedures for English 9. The best way to contact me is via my email address here, KBakerSRHSClassExpectations.net, and you are more than welcome to also leave a message with the 910 main office, as well as visit my website where you can see what we are doing on a daily basis. The website gives you a nice quick view of what we do in class, because when you go to each of the course sections, I have embedded a calendar where on any given day you can click on the event and you can see the task that we completed and the objectives for the lessons for that day. So this is a great way. Bookmark this page that you want to see quickly upcoming information. For example, summer reading quiz, Friday, September 9th. Hopefully you did well on it if you read your summer reading. You'll see other quizzes pop up as well as other activities pop up as we do them in class and as we progress through the rest of the year. Materials that you'll need for class will include the usual pens, pencils, highlighters in any color. We also would like you to have a composition book. And in the composition book, we're going to do all of our writing activities, handwritten, as well as doing some old school cut and paste activities in this. I also would like students to have a small pack of colored pencils. I do have a class set, but it would be really good to have this for diagramming purposes and any active reading that we do to make things color-coded. To help keep all of our things organized, in addition to the composition notebook, students can either use a 3-ring binder or an accordion pendaflix folder. I will always whole bunch all of the handouts that I may give students. But we want to make sure that anything handwritten goes into that composition book, that things are neatly written there, and that's going to become our manual for English 9. The handouts, also you want to make sure that you hoard your handouts and keep them all together, because you can expect to use them on assessments. Any class projects or tests and quizzes will be open notebooks, so you want to have both, either the binder, the folder, or the composition book to refer to when we take assessments. In addition, we're going to be working with the Chromebooks this year. So I would love for students to have headphones or earbuds, something cheap. You don't need to go buy Beats headphones. So we can use these for individual viewing and listening activities. Now, something else that is also optional for your course supplies will include a personal technology device. If you have a cell phone that you are allowed to bring to school and use, in accordance with Southern's acceptable use policy, I absolutely will teach students how to use this. So you can download some apps for class that include Edmodo, Google Classroom, Google Drive, an MP3 voice recorder, a QR code scanner, and the app Remind. And I will provide specific directions on how to sign up for each of these accounts. We're going to use Edmodo and Google Classroom as our virtual classroom space. I'll be using Remind for classroom announcements, and then we're going to use a variety of tech tools for other projects and activities that we do in class. I'm a big believer in blended learning, where I'm blending paper with technology. So our faces will not always be in our smartphones or in our Chromebooks, but we will be blending together paper and digital learning throughout the school year. So what can you expect for our daily routine? The first 5 minutes of class are going to be a do now activity. You'll complete the do now activity daily. If it's something written, you will write it in your composition notebook. Then I'll go over the answers to the do now and review the objectives and instructions for the period. And then the majority of the class time will be spent on learning activities. And then we'll conclude the period with a review and a wrap up of about 5 minutes. Now let's say you're not in class. Maybe you're homesick, you don't feel well, maybe you had a trip. What should you do? Well, If you are absent, you can work from home or even on the road. So students should always do this. You should check our class Edmodo group. I post the daily agenda every single day. And you can also check my course website as well to review the calendar. All of this is for you to continue working. Now, you don't necessarily have to turn assignments in, but at least it gives you the opportunity to communicate and to stay up to date. And all makeup work should be submitted as soon as possible. So, talking about participation in class, I'm a big believer in active learning. I'm going to devise activities where students are going to work in a collaborative environment as well as independently. So some of our activities will be face-to-face participation, and some may be online, where we're conversing with other classes and sharing our work. I am usually online between the hours of 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., and I will periodically check both Edmodo and my school email, so that if there is an issue and you need to reach out to me, I will absolutely do my best to answer any questions. However, if any communication is received after 8 p.m., I will have to answer them the next day. But I will do my best to get back to you as quickly as possible. So, talking about grades. My teaching philosophy focuses on cultivating curiosity, engaging the students in their learning. So, I want them using critical thinking skills. I want them challenging themselves and moving beyond and growing, okay? So as long as students stay organized, they stay focused on the learning, both in class and at home, then the grades will reflect the efforts that are made. So to make sure students stay on track, we should regularly check Edmodo, and we should also check Genesis. Edmodo is going to be our online portfolio. It's going to be a working notebook, a working gradebook of formative assessments, as well as some summative tests and quizzes. Genesis is that marking period grade. It is the points that are going to determine what your grade will be, whether it's an A, B, C, or D, or F at the end of a marking period. Now, some scores will get transferred from Edmodo into Genesis, but some may remain only in Edmodo just as a record of student work. Not everything needs to be scored, but I do like having that record of student work throughout both the marking period and the whole school year. So how do you get that A, that B, that C? Well, grades are all done on a point system. Quarterly grades are determined by dividing the total number of points achieved by total points possible. And the assignment weight will also determine the greater the weight for the marking period. So the more points, the more weight something is worth. General classroom assignments, and assignments can fall into, homework and classwork, 10 to about 20 points per assignment. Quizzes will be like 10 to 80 points per quiz. Tests, 100 to 200 points per test, and essays, projects will be 50 to 200 points per essay or project, okay? Now, I don't do late work, meaning you turn something into late to me, I'm not going to take 10 points off. What I expect is that you will do the best you can to turn things in on time. And a unit deadline will be set for each marking period. So let's say we're doing our short story unit, and I may say October 1st is our deadline. Anything that is not made up by October 1st will no longer be allowed to be made up later in the marking period. I'm trying to avoid that end of the marking period rush where someone comes into me and says, "Here, Mrs. Baker, here's all of my work from the entire marking period." That's not very fair to me. So I would greatly appreciate it if students stay on track and meet their benchmarks, okay? So assignments are going to fall into two categories. We'll have some online assignments as well as paper-based. Any paper-based assignment is due in class on a specified due date. Why? Because I want you to use that piece of paper or that assignment for whatever the learning activity is that day. Online assignments, though, I want to be fair and equitable with everyone. All online assignments are due by 3 p.m. on a specified due date. And students will be given multiple days to complete online assignments. I will never, ever, ever assign something digitally today and make it due tomorrow. I will always build in multiple days so that if the student does not have access at home, he or she can go to the library during study hall, can go to the library after school, can come to my classroom during study hall, can come to my classroom after school, so that they can use either the Chromebooks that are in my room or they can use the computers that are in the library. I do ask, though, that all online assignments are due by 3 p.m. on that due date. After 3 p.m., they are late. Now, if there are technical issues and there is something that happens and, technology fails us, I will always, 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 always take it neatly handwritten. I will never deny a student if it is handwritten, okay? And again, not all assignments will be graded, but students are expected to complete all work as directed. And sometimes work is going to be used as a diagnostic assessment and will be later used in the marking period to reflect student growth, okay? All right, so homework. My homework policy, I kind of hate calling it homework because really it's an extension of class. Whatever was not completed in class is then finished at home. I don't do separate kind of homework, worksheet, busy work kind of stuff. It's always what we start in class. If you didn't have enough time, please take it home to finish it. 43 minutes goes by so quickly. And I feel like as soon as we get started, boom, the bell rings and we're done. So homework just helps to keep us on track with our daily tasks. Homework could be graded for completion as well as for quality. If it's outstanding, get 100%. If you did it satisfactorily, 88. Unsatisfactory, 74. Incomplete, but you were present in class, you'll get a 50. You won't get a 0. The only way you get a 0 is if you were missing, you were not in class, and you did not turn in the assignment. This incomplete helps to account for participation. I want to give you credit because you were in the room. You weren't doing nothing, but I also want to hold you accountable that you need to turn it in to reflect the grade, okay? Again, tests and quizzes, most are open notebook. You may also retake any failed test or quiz by requesting a retake from me. I want to see some growth. I want to see some remediation, not just rolling the dice to see if you can get a higher score. Major projects, again, no later than 3 p.m. on any assigned due date. No lates allowed after the final due date. I want to see engagement in the process. I want to see good quality products, not just here I got it done. Okay. We'll also be doing some peer feedback. We'll be sharing our work and getting some constructive criticism so that we can create some really awesome final products. Okay. Technology in the classroom. Again, everything will adhere to Southern's acceptable use policy, and I really look forward to helping the students grow as digital citizens as well as awesome classroom participants. So, if there are any questions with the rest of this information, please email me, contact me, give me a call, and I will gladly do the best I can to answer any and address any concerns you may have. So I look forward to having a great year. See you in class.